So something kind of special happened this past weekend. It was the weekend of what we call in Canada the Terry Fox Run weekend. Any Canadian will automatically know the context of the Terry Fox Run, but maybe for those of you who are not from here and are not familiar, Terry Fox was a young man who in 1980, at the age of 18, decided to run across the country from one end of this gigantic country called Canada to the other, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. That's remarkable enough, but what was even more remarkable was he only had one leg because he lost one to a rare form of cancer a little before that. He was 18 years old. And moreover, he wanted to do this one marathon that is a little over 40 kilometers or 26 miles per day, every day until he got to the other side. And he wanted to do this to raise awareness and to raise funds for cancer research. He was one of the very first to really bring about a much more imaginative, modern view of what it means to support a worthy cause. And he certainly did capture our collective imaginations in this country. He had to stop about halfway through his run in a place called Thunder Bay in Ontario, my province, when he found out that his cancer had returned aggressively and had spread to his lungs, as mine did a few months ago. And he had to stop, and 4 months later he passed away. Even though he didn't physically make it to the other end of the country, nonetheless, all of us took great inspiration from him and the continued efforts by many people in this country to do runs and to actually finish the job that he was trying to do. That has persisted for over 40 years, and almost $1 billion has been raised in this country to support cancer research. It's a remarkable story. And in many ways, it exemplifies an extreme of this notion of living one day at a time with cancer. And I talk about this an awful lot, but I feel so humble when I think about what this one brave young man tried to do. So this past Sunday, I woke up very early in the morning and I kind of reflected on how I was feeling. I was entering the recovery cycle or recovery phase of my most recent chemo cycle. And I thought, I feel pretty good. And there was a small Terry Fox run that I knew about in the little town of Owen Sound. And I convinced Sharon to help me get to the site, to the starting gates and sign up, and I did. It's about 5 kilometers. Many people certainly do it as a run, but many try to finish or at least make some attempt any way they can, and I've kind of thought I would be in that category. Anyways, we both went and we finished. And not only did we finish, we didn't take any breaks. We actually took a very brisk pace. And I was so happy that in the last 200 meters or so, I just asked myself, do I have a little bit of strength left? And I did, and I ran the past 200, or last 200 meters. I used to run at an enthusiast level and light competition, but it always gave me huge senses of accomplishment and strength. One of the most amazing feelings that I got through that process at the run was, it felt exactly the same as if I were doing an actual run. So the same level of energy, the same kind of thinking that flew through my head as I faced, a little bit of a more intense hill, or the actual progression time, whatever it is. Although everything was scaled because I'm significantly physically weaker than I used to be, but mentally it felt exactly the same, and I felt like the strongest person in the world when I finished. And it got me thinking an awful lot about what it means to be strong. In many ways, if you watch old footage of Terry running, he's hobbling. In so many ways, he's not physically strong, but he is also the strongest person that I'm aware of who existed within my lifetime. That's because we humans have this remarkable ability to adjust meanings of things, and we're not overly clinical about anything, and we figure out how to reconcile different viewpoints, and we come to a good conclusion many times. And certainly for me, the notion of strength is fully embodied in what Terry Fox did. Strength is a remarkable thing, and it drives so much of how I view every day. And a day does not go by where I ask myself, am I feeling strong enough to do X, Y, or Z today, or is today going to be something that I have to try extra hard to figure out how to feel strong, so that by the end of it, I still feel pretty good. I do this pretty much every day. And very close to the word strength is the word hope. Because I just figured if I can stay strong every day, whatever strong means on that day to me, and it could be as simple as I am able to take the laundry downstairs in our apartment and sit there in a humid laundry room for an hour. It could be as simple as that, or it could mean finishing a 5K brisk walk with a bit of a run. It can mean all of these things. And if I can do that every day, hope kind of comes in for free, because you made it through that day. But there was one more dimension that I didn't expect, and it kind of got triggered last night when I got contacted by the wife of a gentleman who recently got diagnosed with a stage 4 oral cancer, and he's losing hope, and he's spiraling, and his wife noticed that in my public statements that somehow I'm figuring a few things out, perhaps a little more efficiently than others, and she just desperately wanted somebody to talk to him and see if some of my experiences could offer some comfort. Anyway, initially I was kind of taken aback. I didn't know if I was ready to do such a thing, but in the end, actually, it was Sharon who convinced me that perhaps the kind of things that I have been doing has some value, and maybe it would do me some good to talk to him. So I'm going to talk to him today. I did talk to his wife last night, and sure enough, I think this is the right decision. But in any case, it occurred to me that this all happened because other people felt that I had some strength that I didn't know I had. And from that strength, that perhaps they can get some hope, because hope lives right next to strength, as we all know. So we're going with that. I'm going to talk to him later this morning, Fingers crossed it goes well. The main thing I promised, not so much that I would give anything that would make him do anything to move the dial on his disease, but that we would just have a wonderful conversation. That's my goal. Just let's have a great conversation about whatever it is. But in any case, sort of pulling this together, I think building one's strength really is not for that person. It is really for other people. That's sort of realization I came to. Yes, if I maintain my own strength and build up some sense of hope for myself, that probably does something positive. But when I dig deep, a lot of this comes back to my sense of an obligation to the people I love. If I lose my sense of strength and my hope, what the hell's going to happen to them? So, once again, as a father, as a husband, I feel that I have to be strong, as I did when our children were small and they needed good parents and strong parents to find their way through life. I have to do that again. I'm still a father, and I'm still a husband, and if I can stay stronger, and if I can maintain my composure, we can all get through to whatever conclusion we need to together. And one of the natural outcomes of this perspective on strength and hope, of it not being something of an individual or personal nature, but more of a group thing that relates to other people, is it's quite easy then to surround yourself with lots of things that inject more life into your life. And you've seen me do all sorts of walks out in a forest setting at our cabin. And of course that certainly is very therapeutic and wonderful. And we all get it. Nature is wonderful and it helps build our souls. But I also enjoy being surrounded by a life of a very different kind. And it's the life that you see around you here. So I am walking through what's called Uptown Waterloo, where I live. And it's a typical largish town and or small city. And it's very early in the morning right now. People are starting to wake up. There's usual hustle and bustle. This is life. It's a different type of life. You know, warts and all, humans have done all sorts of really terrible things. One thing they do really well, they build stuff that could amaze. Architecture, technology, art, communities, all of these things are things that only humans do. And when it works brilliantly. And when you have the right perspective on it, it can give you so much motivation. Everywhere you see are things that really bring a smile to your face. It's as simple as that. So I make sure every day, if I'm in this town, that I do an urban walk. I walk by the exact same places, but it doesn't matter. So here is something called a bingsu restaurant. Bingsu, if you didn't know, is a Korean treat that I grew up with as a little kid. It's shaved ice, very fluffy, quite refreshing. We're going to have two of these places in a little place. Who would have thought that years ago when I moved to Waterloo in 1982 that we would have two bingsu places? Anyways, I love seeing the changes and the vibes, the urban vibes, as much as I like to be leave me alone, let me go into the woods and cut down trees kind of guy. There's something that I get from being around people. And it can't help but to motivate me to keep my strength so that everybody around me can share that strength and derive hope. So I'm going to call it there because I need my strength and I can't be carrying this camera for too much longer. But we're going to conclude with one of my favorite things to do, which is to introduce you to more works by my very talented children, and my son in particular, Eric, who is the musician, has contributed an awful lot of music to my videos. And I'm going to call on him again and use his interpretation of a more contemporary piece of music. That means today is going to be a great day, and by the end of it I will likely feel strong, because in a couple of days I'll need it. I'm going back in for my fourth installment in this chemotherapy regimen, and I'll feel like a total piece of whatever at that point. So with that, I'm going to say goodbye while I'm feeling great. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
All life is a miracle, miracle, miracle. All life is a miracle. That's why you gotta keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on like you do. 'Cause when they play that second line, you got nothing left to prove. All life is a miracle, miracle, miracle. All life is a miracle. That's why you gotta keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on, keep on like you do. 'Cause when they play that second line, you got nothing left to prove.